I have done 30 plus certifications and am here to guide you throughout your certification journey. In this video, we will be covering some important questions of the Microsoft PL-900 exam. You can find the complete PDF of this video and our practice questions through the link down in the description. To the important questions. Question 1. A company has a Power Apps app that is used by most employees. The company is expanding to other countries/region. You need to recommend a solution to translate text generated within the Power Apps in near real time. What should you recommend? Let us first discuss the incorrect options. About A, Microsoft Azure Synapse Analytics is used for big data analytics, not real time translation. About C, Common Data Service Connector integrates data across applications but does not handle translations. About D, Power BI is used for business intelligence and visualization, not language translation. As such, the correct option is Microsoft Azure Cognitive Services. Thus, the correct option is B. Cognitive Services brings AI within reach of every developer without requiring machine learning expertise. All it takes is an API call to embed the ability to see, hear, speak, search, understand, and accelerate decision making into your apps. Question 2. A company uses Dynamics 365 supply chain management. You need to use Microsoft Flow to automate the process of receiving and tracking raw materials. Which type of connector should you use? Here, let us first discuss the incorrect options. B. Dynamics 365. It is too broad and not a specific connector in Power Automate. About C, Dynamics 365 for Fin and Ops. While it was historically used, it has been phased out in favor of Dataverse or Common Data Service connectors. About D, Dynamic Signal is unrelated to Power Automate or Dynamics 365. It is a communication platform. As such, the correct type of connector is Common Data Service. Thus, the correct option is A. You can use Common Data Service to enable the flow of data between Finance and Operations app and Dynamics 365 sales. Question 3. You create a Canvas app by using the option labeled Start from Data. You connect a spreadsheet that contains customer records. The customer records are displayed in a list on a screen labeled Browse. You need to modify a property of the control on the screen. Which control should you modify? Let us first discuss the incorrect options. About A, display form is used to show detailed information about a single record, not for displaying a list of records. About B, it is used for navigation or actions, not for displaying data. About C, search helps filter data but does not control how the list is displayed. As such, the correct option is gallery. Thus, the correct option is D. Gallery to display as a list of records. Display form would show you specific details of the item when selected. Question 4. Company stores its customer warranty information in Microsoft Dataverse. Authenticated and authorized customers must be able to access their own warranty information without requiring a user assigned Microsoft Power Platform license. You need to share warranty information with these customers. What should you use? Let us first discuss the incorrect options. About option A, while it can visualize data, it is not suited for secure, authenticated access to individual customer data. About option B, it requires a Power Platform license and is typically for internal users. About option D, it also requires a Power Platform license, making it unsuitable for external customers. As such, we should use Power Pages site. Thus, the correct option is C. Based on the requirements mentioned in the question, the best option would be to use a Power Pages site, as it allows authenticated and authorized customers to access their warranty information without requiring a user assigned Microsoft Power Platform license. Question 5. You build a custom AI builder model and use it in Power Automate Cloud Flows. Users report that they are not able to use the model in their flows. You need to allow users to access the model in their flows. Which action should you perform on the model? Let us first discuss the incorrect options. About B, editing the model changes its configuration but does not make it accessible to users. About C, publishing is necessary to make the model available for use, but users still cannot access it unless it is shared. About D, training is part of the development process and doesn't address access permissions. As such, the action that we should perform on the model is share. Thus, the correct option is A. By sharing the model, you give the users or individuals the necessary permissions to use the model in their flows. Sharing the model allows users to leverage the AI capabilities of the model within their own Power Automate cloud flows, enabling them to integrate the model's functionality into their automation process. So, the correct answer is A. Share. Question 6. A company uses a custom built system to record financial data that runs on a manager's machine. The system does not have an API. New customer details must be manually entered into the system by the manager from a central spreadsheet. The user interface of the system contains the complex business logic that is needed for the manual customer data entry process. You need to ensure that new customer details can be entered into the system automatically by using Power Automate. Which type of flow should you create? Based on our question, let us first discuss the incorrect options. About A, it requires a cloud accessible API or connector which the system lacks. About B, guides users through steps but it does not automate UI interactions. About D, it triggers actions in cloud based workflows unsuitable for a desktop application without an API. Thus, the type of flow that we should create is desktop. As such, the correct option is C. Since the custom built system runs on a manager's machine and does not have an API, the most appropriate type of flow to use is a desktop flow. Desktop flow are designed to automate tasks on a local machine, interacting with desktop applications and performing actions similar to a user. In this case, the desktop flow can be configured to automate the process of entering new customer details into the custom built system by interacting with the user interface and performing the necessary steps for data entry from a central spreadsheet. Therefore, option C is the correct answer. Question 7. An airline company wants to use Power Apps to manage its lost luggage desk. You need to determine whether the company should build a Canvas app or a model driven app. Which two questions should you ask to determine which type of app the company should use? Based on the question, let us discuss the correct options. About B, this does not influence the choice as both app types can be shared with Azure AD users or groups. About option C, both app types are mobile friendly, so this is not a differentiating factor. About option E, neither app type requires coding skills, both are low code platforms. As such, the two questions that we should ask to determine the type of app the company should use are Which data sources will be used? And does the app need to use a specific layout? Thus, the correct options are A and D. About the options, A. This is an important question because Canvas apps and model driven apps have different ways of connecting to data. About option D, this is another important question because Canvas app and model driven apps have different levels of control over the user interface. Canvas apps start with a blank screen like an artist's canvas, and the app creator manually lays out each screen and element. If you want to create a custom and tailored user interface, you may prefer a Canvas app. If you want to create a data driven and standardized user interface, you may prefer a model driven app. Question 8. A company uses a Power Apps Canvas app to enter information. The Canvas app uses a Microsoft SharePoint list to store information. A user manually copies the information to a Microsoft Dataverse instance. You must automate the manual process. You need to create a solution to meet the requirement. What should you do? Based on the question, let us first discuss the incorrect options. About option A, PCF control for onload. It is used for customization, not data automation. About option B, business process flow. It guides users through processes. It doesn't automate data transfer. About option C, PCF control for on-save. It customizes the save action but not for automating data movement. About option D, we cannot move data without connectors. As such, we should create a Power Automate Cloud Flow with a connector to email. Thus, the correct option is E. Here are the steps on how to create the flow. Create a new Power Automate Cloud Flow. Add a trigger that fires when a record is created in the SharePoint list. Add an action to copy the information from the SharePoint list record to a Dataverse record. Save and publish the flow. The flow will now automatically copy the information from the SharePoint list to Dataverse whenever a new record is created in the list. Question 9. A company uses a model driven app to record customers' dietary preferences. You need to change the order of the columns in a personal view that you created on the contact table. Where should you change the order? Let us first discuss the incorrect options. About option A, it is used for Canvas app design, not model driven app view settings. About option B, it is used for overall app customization but not for editing personal views. About option D, it manages environments and settings, not individual app view customizations. As such, we should change the order in the model driven app. Thus, the correct option is C. You can customize personal views directly within the model driven app. In the app, go to the view settings to change the order of columns in your personal view. Question 10. The front desk of a hotel uses a model driven app to check in guests. The hotel wants to create a Canvas app for the housekeeping staff to manage cleaning supplies. The Canvas app will connect to a new instance of Microsoft Dataverse. You need to create a new environment for the housekeeping staff. What should you use? Based on the question, let us first discuss the incorrect options. About A, manages Microsoft 365 services but not Power Platform environments. About C, it is used for app creation and management, not for environment creation. About option D, it is used primarily for managing Azure services, not Power Platform environments. As such, we should use Microsoft Power Platform Admin Center. Thus, the correct option is E. You can view and manage your environments on the environments page in the Power Platform Admin Center. Question 11. You create a Power Apps app and Power Automate flow. You need to combine multiple types of field values into a single string value and format the string. What should you use? Based on the question, let us first discuss the incorrect options. About option A, it is used for decision making, not for combining or formatting values. About option B, it is also used for conditional branching, not for combining or formatting values. About option C, it is used for storing reusable values across flows or apps, not for dynamic string formatting. As such, we should use expression. Thus, the correct option is D. Expression in Power Automate allows you to combine multiple field values into a single string and format it using functions like concat. Question 12. Company uses a model driven app. You add several columns to a form. Users state the new columns do not appear on the form. You need to fix the issue. What should you do? Based on the question, let us first discuss the incorrect options. About option A, Power Automate is for workflow automation, not for form changes. About option B, business rules are used for logic, not for showing new columns on a form. About option C, there is no such restriction. Columns can be in multiple sections if needed. About option D, copying and renaming is not required to resolve this issue. As such, we should publish the form. Thus, the correct option is E. If users are stating that new columns are not appearing on the form, the most likely cause is that the form has not been published with the latest changes. Publishing the form will make the new columns visible to the users. Form needs to be published to contain modifications. Question 13. A company creates Canvas apps for its sales team. A user creates a Canvas app from a data source. You need to determine the screens created. Which three screens should you identify? Let us first discuss the incorrect options. About A, a welcome screen is optional and not automatically generated by the data source. About E, there is no specific delete screen automatically created. Deletion is typically managed within the edit/create or details screen. Thus, the three screens that were created are edit/create, browse, and details. As such, the correct options are B, C, D. The edit/create screen allows users to add new records or edit existing records in the data source. The browse screen displays a list of records in the data source and allows user to filter and sort the records. The details screen displays the details of a specific record in the data source. Question 14. You create a Canvas app that uses a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet as a data source. The spreadsheet contains a list of pets. Each column in the spreadsheet is a different attribute about a pet. You need to create an interface to allow users to save a new pet record to the spreadsheet. What is the minimum number of controls you need to implement to create the interface? Let us first discuss the incorrect options. About option A, while the edit form is used for data entry, you also need a button to trigger saving the data. About option C, the specific controls might be required for certain attributes but are not necessary in all. About option D, more controls than necessary. Button and an edit form are sufficient. As such, the minimum number of controls we need to implement to create the interface are two controls, an edit form control and a button control. Thus, the correct option is B. Two controls, an edit form control and a button control. Options C and D suggest using additional controls like text input, date picker, and combo box controls, which are not necessary to create the interface for adding a new record to the spreadsheet. Question 15. A company uses Dynamics 365 Sales. The company uses a browser based app named Sales Hub. You need to ensure that users can access data from Sales Hub by using mobile devices. Which app should users install? Let us first discuss the incorrect options. About option A, it is aimed at remote assistance, not sales or mobile access to CRM data. About option B, it focuses on financial and business management, not sales hub. About option C, it is used primarily for financial management, not sales data access on mobile devices. As such, users should install Dynamics 365 for phones. Thus, the correct option is D. Dynamics 365 for phones is the mobile app specifically designed to access Dynamic 365 data, including Sales Hub, on mobile devices. Question 16. You are developing a Power Virtual Agents chatbot. The chatbot must respond to user questions by using instant messaging. You need to deploy the chatbot. Where should you install the chatbot? Based on the question, let us first discuss the incorrect options. About option A, Power Apps Maker portal is used for creating apps, not for deploying them for interaction. About option B, it is not a place for chatbot deployment. It is a general app for managing Power Platform tools. About option D, chatbots should be deployed on platforms like Teams or websites, not directly on a desktop. As such, we should install the chatbot on Microsoft Teams. Thus, the correct option is C. Microsoft Teams is an ideal platform for deploying Power Virtual Agents chatbots to respond to user questions via instant messaging as it directly integrates with Power Virtual Agents for seamless chatbot interaction. Question 17. A company uses Microsoft 365 and Power Platform. You do not assign permissions to any licensed users. Users are able to create and edit Power Apps Canvas apps. In which environment are users creating and editing the apps? Based on the question, let us first discuss the incorrect options. About option A, production typically has strict permissions and wouldn't allow unlicensed users to create or edit apps. About option C, Sandbox has a more controlled environment where permissions are still managed, limiting app creation. As such, the environment in which users are creating and editing the apps is test. Thus, the correct option is B. In Power Platform, users can create and edit apps in a test environment when no permissions are explicitly assigned. This environment is often used for development or trial purposes before apps are moved to production. Question 18. You are using Power Virtual Agents to create a chatbot for your Power Apps portal. You need the chatbot to start from the beginning of the conversation if user input is unrecognized. What should you configure? Based on the question, let us first discuss the incorrect options. About option A, triggers initiate topics but don't manage unrecognized user input. About option B, AI features enhance the bot's capabilities but are not directly used for restarting the conversation on unrecognized input. About option D, it is used to inform users of errors but does not reset the conversation. As such, we should configure fallback topic. Thus, the correct option is C. In Power Virtual Agents, the fallback topic is used to handle situations where the user input is not recognized by the chatbot. If the user input is not matched to any of the topics or questions in the chatbot, the fallback topic will be triggered, allowing you to configure a response or redirect the conversation to a different topic. This is why you should configure the fallback topic if you want the chatbot to start from the beginning of the conversation if the user input is unrecognized. Question 19. You are developing a Microsoft Power Platform solution. The solution uses data stored in Microsoft Excel, a Microsoft Dataverse database, and an Azure SQL database. You must create several visuals to enable the data to display on a screen without moving the data out of its source locations. You need to create the visuals. Which tool should you use? Let us first discuss the incorrect options. About option A, Power Automate is used for automating workflows, not for creating visual or reports. About option B, it is a set of tools to manage and govern the Power Platform environment, not for creating visuals. About option C, it is used to create chatbots, not for creating data visuals. As such, the tool that we should use is Power BI. Thus, the correct option is D. Power BI is a business intelligence and data visualization tool that allows you to connect to various data sources, including Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Dataverse, and Azure SQL databases. It allows you to create interactive, visually appealing reports and dashboards without having to move the data out of its source location. Power Automate, Power Platform Center of Excellence Starter Kit, and Power Virtual Agents are all different tools that are not specifically designed for creating data visuals in the way that Power BI is. Question 20. Company has an online store to sell toys. The volume of order tracking requests has increased. You need to allow customers to use an interactive interface on the website to request order tracking information. Which technology should you use? Let us first discuss the incorrect options. About option A, Power Automate is for automating workflows, not for creating interactive customer facing interface. About option B, it provides analytics and insights, but not an interactive interface for customers to request information. About option D, it is primarily used for visualizing and analyzing data, not for providing real time customer interactions. Uh, as such, the technology that we should use is Power Virtual Agents chatbots. Thus, the correct option is C. Our virtual agents chatbots can be used to create an interactive interface on the website to handle customer inquiries such as order tracking requests. Question 21. You create a Power Virtual Agents chatbot for a company. The chatbot will use common channels and services by which the company communicates with customers. You need to determine which services the chatbot can be used with or added to. Which two services can the chatbot be used with? Based on the question, let us first discuss the incorrect options. About option B, Power BI is for data visualization, not for chatbot integrations. About option C, Event Grid is for event based architectures, not typically used for chatbot integrations. About option D, Service Bus is for message based communication, not for bot deployment. Thus, the two services that the chatbot can be used with are Facebook and Microsoft Azure Bot Framework. As such, the correct options are A and E. Our virtual agents can be integrated with Facebook to communicate with customers on the platform and also with the Microsoft Azure Bot Framework for more advanced capabilities and multi channel integration. Question 22. A company is creating a chatbot to replace a frequently asked questions site. You must perform step by step testing for all scenarios that are part of a complex user interaction that includes multiple topics. Testers must be able to see the workflow while interacting with the chatbot. You need to test the chatbot. What should you do? Let us first discuss the incorrect options. About option A, Analytics show insights about user interactions but don't allow direct testing or viewing workflows. About option B, testing in a live channel is less efficient for iterative debugging and does not display workflows. About option C, while possible, this doesn't show the workflow during interactions, which is essential for step by step testing. As such, we should use the chatbot designer to test the chatbot. Thus, the correct option is D. The key piece is being able to see the workflow. You cannot do that in the test website. Question 23. You are building a Power Virtual Agents chatbot for a company. You are working with an existing topic and would like to call an action. Which technology is available to perform the action? Let us first discuss the incorrect options. About option A, entities store data for chatbot interactions but cannot perform actions. About B, Power BI is for data visualization, not for performing actions within a chatbot. About option C, Power Apps are for building apps, not for executing actions within chatbot topics. As such, the technology that is available to perform the action is Power Automate. Thus, the correct option is D. Power Virtual Agents can call actions using Power Automate. Power Automate Flows allows the chatbot to trigger actions like sending emails, updating records, and interacting with external systems. Question 24. A company is building an interactive chatbot to answer questions about product and product warranties. You need to create conversation paths for questions about product warranties. Which tool should you use? Let us first discuss the correct options. About option B, this is for advanced bot development, but it is not used for creating conversation paths in Power Virtual Agents. About option C, it is used for administrative tasks, not for designing chatbot conversations. About option D, this is the entry point for managing bots, but the actual conversation design happens in the authoring canvas. About option E, this is a component within the authoring canvas, not the tool itself. As such, the tool that we should use is authoring canvas. Thus, the correct option is A. The authoring canvas is where you define the conversation path between a customer and the bot. Question 25. Company is using our virtual agents with Dynamics 365 customer service. You create a new topic. The topic performs as expected during testing. Customers report that the new topic is not visible in the frequently asked question section of the company's website. You need to ensure customers can see the new topic. What should you do? Based on the question, let us first discuss the incorrect options. About option A, it is unnecessary. The issue is simple that the topic hasn't been published. About option B, variables are used within topics but don't affect topic visibility. About option C, linking is unrelated to making a topic visible on the chatbot. About option D, analysis helps improve performance but does not publish the topic. As such, we should publish the topic. Thus, the correct option is E. Trust and publish your bot. Trust your bot when you make changes to your topics to make sure that everything is working as expected. After you have designed and tested your bot, publish it to the web, mobile, or native apps or Microsoft Bot Framework channels. Question 26. You develop a Power Virtual Agents chatbot in a Microsoft Teams channel named Expenses. You need to identify the operations the chatbot can perform. Which two actions can the chatbot perform? Let us first discuss the incorrect options. About option B, Power Virtual Agents cannot process PDF files natively. About option C, chatbots in Teams are accessible only to channel members unless shared explicitly. As such, the two actions that the chatbot can perform are triggering a request for approval from a senior manager for high value expenses and transfer a chat to a live person if the chatbot cannot answer the question. Thus, the correct options are A and D. Our virtual agents can trigger workflows like approval requests using Power Automate and can transfer chats to a live agent when necessary. Question 27. A company plans to move an on premises customer service data management system to a cloud managed solution. The customer service application must be replaced by a model driven application. The company uses Microsoft SQL Server Integration Services packages to move data from the on premises database system to a third party enterprise resource planning system. You need to replace the SSIS packages for data transfer. What should the company use in place of the packages to move the data? Let us first discuss the incorrect options. About option A, Power Platform connectors handle integrations but are not suited for bulk data migrations. About option B, Azure Data Lake stores data but does not handle structured migrations. About option C, Power Virtual Agents is unrelated to data transfer or migration. Thus, in place of the packages to move the data, the company should use data migration framework. As such, the correct option is D. Data migration framework is a tool that can be used to migrate data from on-premises to cloud solutions such as Azure SQL databases and Azure SQL Data Warehouse, which can help to migrate data from SQL Server to ERP system on cloud. Question 28. You are creating a Canvas app that uses one connector. Which two objects are provided by the connector? Based on the question, let us first discuss the correct options. About option A, customizations refer to user-defined changes not provided directly by connectors. About option D, triggers are used in Power Automate, not Canvas apps, to initiate workflows. As such, the two objects that are provided by the connector are actions and tables. Thus, the correct options are B and C. Connector in a Canvas app provides actions to perform operations like creating, reading, updating data, and tables for accessing data from the service. Question 29. You are planning to allow members of your team to test your chatbot. You must ensure this is done in a secure way. A member named user1 must test the chatbot. You need to ensure that user1 can complete testing. What should you do? Let us first discuss the incorrect options. About option A, signing in as the chatbot author does not grant user 1 access for testing. About option B, Azure DevOps is not relevant for chatbot testing within Power Virtual Agents. About option C, signing in as user 1 in Azure DevOps does not give access to the chatbot in Power Virtual Agents. As such, we should sign in to the authoring environment as user 1. Thus, the correct option is D. The answer is definitely D, as you are testing that the user can access the chatbot, not the author. Question 30. You create a Power Virtual Agents chatbot for a company. The management wants to learn about the effectiveness of the chatbot. You need to identify the percentage of customers who stop responding to prompts from the chatbot. Which report should you view? Let us first discuss the incorrect options. About option A, customer satisfaction. It focuses on user feedback, not response drop off. About option B, it shows overall engagement trends but does not specifically measure drop off. About option C, it focuses on how often chats are escalated, not on response drop off. As such, the report that we should view is session outcomes over time. As such, the correct option is D. The session outcomes over time chart shows you the daily resolution rate, escalation rate, and abandon rate over the specified time period. The daily rate of abandoned sessions. An abandoned session is an engaged session that is neither resolved nor escalated after 1 hour from the beginning of the session. These were all the questions for this video. You can find the complete PDF of this video and our practice questions through the link down in the description. We will be publishing more parts to this series in the future, so please make sure to subscribe our channel and press the bell icon. Thank you for watching and stay tuned.